Hello and welcome to Valerie Lindsay Photography. I wanted to do something that I think is kind of cool and might be kind of helpful to any of my future clients, anyone looking for a wedding photographer and want to know what to look out for, and also for any up-and-coming wedding photographers that maybe aren't sure how to structure their galleries or what exactly to deliver. Ultimately, I just hope this helps everyone. So let me tell you what we're doing today. So today I thought it would be really cool if I took you through one of my wedding galleries and kind of showed you how I structure them, how I decide where to put what, and how I break the day up so that it's a little easier for my couples and for me to navigate the gallery itself. So I use Pixieset to deliver all of my galleries. I absolutely love it. I also use Pixieset to host my website. I used to use them like the whole studio manager that they offer, but then I switched to HoneyBook. I do think the Pixieset studio manager is really good though. I'm not sponsored or anything. I really like Pixieset. So anyways, I'm gonna go into my client gallery and I'm gonna hit manage collections. And I'm gonna take you to this wedding because I feel like I just did a lot with it. Okay, so as you can see here, there are a lot of tabs on the side, and some people may think that that's too much. I personally am the type of person who loves to have things organized and easily accessible and easy to see, especially when I'm looking for certain photos that maybe I want to re-download and share, or maybe my bride or groom or any of the family members are looking for a specific part in the day that they want to see that I documented or something like that. So I do break it up into a lot of parts. Now for this wedding, I did shoot the rehearsal dinner. I actually hired an associate to shoot for me because I was second shooting another wedding that day, and I included it in their final wedding gallery. So I added it front and center. I like to organize it all in chronological order according to the day or the weekend that their wedding was on, or like the timeline of events on their wedding day. So for the rehearsal dinner, I didn't mind adding it in here, just delivering it with the final gallery because I didn't really have time to edit it prior, if that makes sense, because I was shooting their wedding the next day. So I just included it in the final gallery. And for the rehearsal dinner, they did this really cool like Halloween themed rehearsal dinner out in Wisconsin. I think it was on Lake Geneva. And I just had my second shooter go and cover it. I edited all the photos, culled through them, and then delivered them in this final gallery, which is why you see it here. Okay, so getting to the actual wedding day. So as you can see, I do this again, like I said, in chronological order. So first I uploaded the getting ready photos. And it's kind of hard when you have a second shooter. This is why, let me rephrase that. When you have a second shooter, it's really important before you start the wedding day that you guys set your cameras to the same date and the same time. That way, when you're culling through all of the photos and you're uploading them to Lightroom, you can sort them by the time that they were taken, and it'll automatically sort all of your photos and all of your second shooter's photos the correct way, in correct chronological order. That way you're not having to, in Pixieset, move things around and do all of that stuff. Okay, back to what I was talking about. The getting ready photos, I took so many, me and my second shooter combined. I take a lot of pictures. I want to make sure that everyone's getting as many memories as they possibly can. So I organize them all in chronological order in the actual like sub gallery too. So for the getting ready, I walked in and this is what was going on. We had, the mom getting her hair done. The bride was doing her grandmother's makeup. They were all just kind of hanging out. And I just snuck some pictures of all of that. Then we got into some more posed photos because they wanted photos with, like the bride wanted photos with her sisters and her bridesmaids. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. And then she gave gifts and stuff. So I like to do it all in chronological order, the way that someone would remember it, right? So that's what I did for the getting ready. And then of course her putting on her dress and some portraits of her in her dress. Then I categorized the first looks. I went in chronological order with the first looks too. And what was really cool about this is my second shooter was on the other side of the door and I was inside next to the bride and with the bride. So I got to get those two different perspectives, which is why I love having two photographers and why I only offer two photographers in all my wedding packages. I just feel like it does your memories so much justice to have as many angles and as many eyes as possible taking these photos. So the first looks, go through all of them, make sure that everyone is seen in these photos, all of the important key moments, like her handing these beautiful gifts to her friends. She had all of her friends come in. They were all opening them up, some black and white for emotion, some color, and things like that. So these are the first looks. They're all here from me and my second shooter. Then we go over to the ceremony. Again, chronological order. We have the bride getting ready to walk down the aisle. She's all alone. She's excited. We have the ceremony space and all of the guests that were attending, what they were doing. Let's see here. Everyone walking down the aisle. The bride walking down the aisle. Again, we have two different POVs because we have what my second shooter was able to get and what I was able to get, which is why it's so important to have two photographers. I think I'm going to stress this in every single section. It's so important to have two photographers to get as many angles as possible. So obviously this is pretty self-explanatory. As soon as they walk away, I'm going to move into the family portraits, and this is going to be easy for their family members to access. Instead of scrolling through the already like 500 photos that are in the gallery, they can just look for family portraits, and they're all pulled up here. Bridals, so any photos of the bride and the groom standing alone or any of them combined, I have in their own little section for the bride and groom to look at and download, because I think those and the first look are probably the most important ones to the bride and groom. I want to say those were the most important for me when I was getting my wedding gallery back and looking through the photos. So we have all of that. I had my second shooter here too, so she was able to get some really cool angles while I was posing them and guiding them and prompting them. And again, it's all just in chronological order, just to make it easy. That way they can just be like, okay, they kind of pick up on the theme, on what's going on. And then we have cocktail hour. Everything is split up for cocktail hour. I had my second shooter doing cocktail hour while I was doing family portraits and stuff. Have that all set in there. Dinner is its own separate thing. Unless I feel like everything really is condensed or feels really condensed and is in the same space, then maybe I'll combine the dinner, dancing, and stuff like that. But for the most part, I try and break it up just so that my clients have a little bit of ease when they're going through their gallery, and it's easy for them to find different parts of the day if they want to look at them, and for their guests and stuff. Cake cutting, we move into speeches, getting everyone's reaction. The little details like this mom's book or her journal, the bride coming up with her friend as her friend was doing the speech, just a bunch of really lovely things. After dinner, we go straight into dancing. So this is, I guess, considered the reception, little detail shots of that, any dress changes that they do, I put here too. All of the first dances are here, all of the open dances here. Everything is here, and I try and also do that in chronological order of the night. So we have the bride here dancing with all of her friends. We have her friends, like just trying to get as many of the guests as we possibly can. So this bride did opt into having a photo booth, and I had my second shooter stand at that photo booth with a tripod and her camera and her flash for about an hour, I want to say, to just get pictures of all the guests, because that was something that the bride really, really wanted. So we took some test shots. And again, all of this is in chronological order, whether or not the bride knows it, the bride and groom. We take test shots and then it's off to the races. Everyone's taking pictures. Everyone's having a good time. We get the bride in. And it's just, I think that was actually a really sweet thing that the bride did. I really loved that she opted into doing that. And then the only thing, this is the last thing, it's the details tab. This is the only thing that I don't really have a set place where I put it in terms of chronological order. Sometimes I have it after or before they're getting ready, so where the rehearsal dinner is. Sometimes I have it at the end of a gallery. I guess it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day, to be completely honest with you, because this one I don't have anything set for, but I do make a tab for just details like any like cool decor that they had throughout that day, the venue, outside, inside of the venue, the dinner layout before people are there, different getting ready details, stuff like that. I'll just add here. That way, if they want to see, oh, like what are like these little bits and pieces of my wedding day that maybe I didn't get to focus too much on, I'll include all of those here, pictures of the cake and things like that. It is also in chronological order. That's just a trend and the theme that I follow throughout all of my galleries. That is my wedding gallery walkthrough. I do this with just about every single wedding that I do. This is another wedding that I did a little bit after theirs. Again, see the details are at the top. Details, we have getting ready, the ceremony, the bridals, group photos, and then the reception. Again, like I said, sometimes if I feel like it's all flowing in like one space, I'll just combine the dinner and the reception. That is my wedding gallery walkthrough. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. Let me know if there's any way that you do it that maybe might be beneficial for me to know. If you're a client, I would hope that your photographer is this detail oriented and gives you this ease of access when looking through your gallery, and separating the different points of time in a day. That way it's easy for you to go and download the photos that you want or share the photos that you want and things like that. I hope this helps someone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.